wish I found some better songs that no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice that sang some better words. I wish I had found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't have to rhyme every time I sang. I was told when I get older, all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and care what people think. My name's Blurryface, and I care what you think. Nothing like quoting lyrics by 21 Pilots. No, so the other day, I did My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade, so I figured why not do 21 Pilots? I don't even listen to emo music. So anyway, welcome everybody to Fantasyland News. Today, I am going to go over everything we know about DAS now. The other day, we released a video all about the brand new DAS, but in the last few days, more information has come to light. And today, I want to fix a few mistakes that we had made, but also give everybody an update of exactly what's going on. A comprehensive guide to disability access service, if you will, with a little bit of humor and a little bit of passion behind it, because this is something that we truly believe in here, and we want to advocate for those who may not know where or how to go about advocating for themselves. And I'm going to use that word a few times during this whole spiel I'm giving here. The word advocate is going to come up because you're going to have to learn how to advocate for yourself. So, prelude to what we're talking about. Today, we're going to actually talk, I'm going to explain how we are fixing our mistakes. We're going to give you some helpful ideas. We'll talk about services at Disney World. What is DAS, or Disability Access Service? How it works, how to get it, what happens if approved, who qualifies, who does not qualify, what happens if you're told no, and any other helpful ideas that we may have. So let's get right into this. There is a lot of misinformation going around right now. And again, this is where one of our mistakes was made. We gave information recently regarding the new DAS Pass, and I would like to fix a few of those mistakes. Let's be right up front. So let me fix a few mistakes that I made in a video the other day that people have been watching. Is who qualifies for DAS under the new rules and who does not qualify under the DAS for the new rules. I'm going to go way more in depth in that. But let's just say that originally I said that the only people that were going to be approved was kids who are autistic or neurodivergent. And then I had a long list of who does not qualify. I'm going to update them because PTSD and a few other things fall off of the who does not qualify and rolls into who does qualify. So bear with me as I go through this whole thing because it's a lot. And I apologize because we have literally gone through 3 videos now trying to do this right, and I'm trying to get the information and make it correct, and I'm trying to help as much as I can. And you know what? I was really passionate the other day, and I'll tell you why. Look, I'm off script already. See, I knew this was going to happen. So we have heard from a lot of people, and we've read a lot of comments in forums. We've paid attention to people. People have texted us personally or gotten a hold of us personally to ask questions about this. First and foremost, I have to say, I can't tell you how to get DAS. I can tell you how the process works and how everything works. I can't tell you the magic words to say. Only you understand what your diagnosis is. Which leads me to all the negative comments that are out there in the world right now. They have no clue what your situation is. So I hope that you can find a way of figuring out how to shut that noise out of your life so you don't have to deal with that. I really feel what people are saying out there, and I really understand the frustration that is around this. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people who do not know what is going on. They don't know if they're going to be able to go back to Disney, and that's wrong. People should be able to come to their happy place, should be able to shut the world away for a day and just enjoy themselves with a giant mouse. Like, come on, people. There's no reason to talk down to others. Anyway, I'm off topic. Let's get back on topic. See, this is how my brain works. You're slowly learning who I am. All right, fix our mistakes. I'm going to go through this. This can be a bit much mentally on some people. You have to be self-aware. you need to, if you're going to go get this DAS, you need to have written down your whole diagnosis in front of you. You need to have written out exactly how, standing in line, your symptoms would show up while you're standing in line, or how your symptoms would be exasperated by standing in a long queue at Walt Disney World. You need to be able to explain this to a cast member in terms that they will understand. If they don't understand the certain terms, they're going to have to get a health professional. So you know, DAS is now only for cognitive disabilities. That does fall under the what is cognitive disability? Let's go through that. So, it's an umbrella term that refers to a broad range of conditions. It does include intellectual disability, autism spectrum disorder, severe or persistent mental illness, brain injury, stroke, Alzheimer's disease. Obviously, PTSD does fall under these things. So only you understand what you deal with on a daily basis. You also must be able to explain in clear terms with lack of emotion. And that's the biggest thing I'm going to say here is you have to be able to explain it to a cast member without getting emotional about this. How being in a long line is going to affect you. How, if you have to leave the line, how likely are you to return to that queue? How likely are you to want to come back and hang out with Elsa and Anna in the Frozen ride after having to leave the line for a mental or cognitive disability? So with that in mind, you need to have this all written down on a piece of paper in front of you. You need two lists. You need the list of what your needs are, how they are not being met in the park, or what is going to happen while you're standing in a long line, how these issues could pop up, and you need to have a complete list of it. It can't be just a part of it. You need to advocate for yourself. You need to have these things written down. Only you know your diagnosis. So you knowing this and you being, or a loved one being and having a cognitive disability, you really need to understand how and be self-aware of what all this is. So I want to give you my personal experiences on the new DAS process. Oh, sorry, second line. There you go. There's my ADHD kicking off, going all over the place. Second list is going to be how you have services for when you're at home. What do you do in your daily life if there is a flashback or a flare-up or something happens in your life or at home or at work when you're not in the park? What services do you have to help you out at home? Those are the two lists you need. So I want to give you my personal experience on the new DAS process, how our needs were met, how the whole thing works. Plus, I'll give you some helpful tips in advocating for yourself or your loved one. Please, again, I'm going to say this. Don't ask us how to get it. What works and what does not work. I cannot tell you that. It's just not legit in any community to say those things, because there's a lot of scammers and a lot of bad people out there that are going to use that information against us. And they're going to be, we're going to have the same problem of people abusing the system. And Disney's just going to end up blaming the disabled community again. So let's avoid that. Sorry, I digress. I also want to say that, again, I have read a lot of comments, both pro and con, people telling us their personal stories, those who do not agree with people who may be using the new DAS system. I hear all of you, and we're trying our best to bring you everything correctly when we learn about the system. Furthermore, we are also an ever-growing and evolving site. We may say something that is wrong, and we may say it in the wrong way when we did not mean to. Please feel free to direct us in the proper language to use or the proper way to discuss these hard to discuss topics. I always will do my best to do better and be better. We have learned so much from this community. We are very grateful for everyone who has left feedback, click the articles, watch these videos. But you, and only you, know what your diagnosis is. We have found that people who legitimately need DAS are being denied because they have a hard time understanding the new rules and are being denied access to help that is available. We have also seen people who have abused this system in the past, scrounging the interwebs looking for a way to bypass this new system. So again, You are the only one who can advocate for yourself. You must understand how to explain cognitive disability, how it affects your daily life, how it is an issue standing in a long line. I can suggest a few things to help, like I just did. Write down your issues prior to the virtual chat. Write down your concerns. Have a list ready when you talk to a Disney cast member. It is okay to talk like you are a robot. Trust me. And go down the list one at a time robotically. Do not have emotions. Write all the services you have in place in your daily life, even if it is small. Like, do you have a loved one who helps you turn off the lights to help you calm down? All these things go into play. Secondly, stay calm. Your mental health is way more important than any Disney trip or vacation. There is hopefully a cast member on the other end of the chat who will understand what you are telling them. If not, you need to do your best to explain the situation to them. Remember, they have heard from 2 people at once times every 10 minutes, which means 20-ish people an hour. And in a 10-hour shift, that's 150 to 200 people each shift they're talking to. They have heard it all. They have become a little desensitized to the whole ordeal. So we have to give the cast members a little break. They are just following the rules. They do not make the rules. Disney does. So, what to expect when calling into the virtual chat? First, you may end up waiting for over an hour, okay? You start by answering a few questions in the chat feature before going into the video chat, such as, have you agreed to the terms of service? Which, by the way, if you sign those terms of service, you cannot join a class action lawsuit. Just so you're aware, very big wording on there. So if you're using a mobile phone, have Zoom downloaded and installed. They are accepting video chats with people who have reservations in the next 30 days. Okay. Now, let's go through a few things. For us, we followed our own advice and we had every symptom written down that could happen from standing in long lines. Our original DAS expired today, so we had to go through this process yesterday. But yesterday was considered a good to go day at the park. So as an annual pass holder, we did not have a reservation for that day. It's very important for you to know you must have a reservation in the next 30 days to go through this. And I think they're going to become lenient on that very soon if they haven't already. But if you're an annual pass holder, if it's a good to go day, just explain it to them and they will work with you and make sure that they fix everything. Again, we spent 49 minutes waiting in virtual queue. Our chat would glitch once in a while. We would get an error. All we had to do was reload the web page. Finally, after having those problems, we ended up using my cell phone to go through, and we went through the My Disney Experience app. Even with the error messages, it was quick to reload and work. The cast member first started off by asking us a few questions in chat prior to doing a live video chat. They ask your account name, your party size, your full name, the names of those who are in your travel party, what you are in need of for a live chat. They will not ask for any symptoms, any diagnosis, anything in the chat. They will wait till you're on video chat. Once we got to video chat after 49 minutes, the cast member we spoke to, who was very professional and pleasant, he explained to us that there is new rules in place and he would do his best to accommodate us. He asked us why we needed DAS, and we then had to go through the whole list that we made. We did it point by point, one at a time. He did not interrupt us. We stayed on target and only talked about how our cognitive disability affects us in long lines. We were very thorough, like I said. We were asked what we do at home and what services are in place in our daily lives, and then we were approved. Well, let's go back. I was approved. I made sure they knew I go to the park solo 3 or 4 times a week, and I do not always have a person with me to go through the lines who could help out. So I was personally approved. If I would like to add people to my pass, I would then have to call back in and have the names added. You are allowed 3 additional guests on top of yourself. So 4 total. They have cut it down to 4 total. The new pass lasts for 120 days. It is up from 60. And again, you are allowed 3 guests on your pass, which is down from 6 to 8. The cast member also explained how the pass works. We've been using it for years. I'm going to explain it to you in a second. Along with, there's now a 10-minute buffer before you can schedule your next pass return time. If there is a double touch point in the ride, then it's 10-minute buffer after the second touch point. And there's no limit to the amount of rides that you can use and get return times for. You just can only do one at a time. So you can, while you're getting off Spaceship Earth, you can then select the next one. So there is also special circumstances for solo guests where a medical professional may have to talk to you and approve for solo only. But that's kind of how this process works. I explained how to get DAS. Let's go. What happens if you're approved, which we just did? Let's go back to how the DAS actually works. Now that you've been approved, when you go to your phone, you will pull up the My Disney Experience app, and down at the bottom right corner, you'll see a little hamburger or 3 vertical lines. You will click that. Once you click that, you should see on your on the My Disney Experience app. Excuse me, I lost my place. I'm trying to do this as I talk. So you hit the hamburger icon. There's a Disability Access Service tab that should be right there underneath merchandise checkout and chat with us, reserve dining, order food. You'll see a Disability Access Service if you have the app. What will pop up is the rides of the park that you're in and the return times. Right now I'm looking at Soarin' Around the World, and it is 20-minute return time. You would then click the DAS Pass, and once clicked, it'll bring up your names and any name of the guests you may have. You can select who is part of your party that day. I am solo, so I just brought myself, and then you get a return time for the exact same time that the queue is for standard line. So it says 20 minutes. It would give me a return time for 20 minutes from now. You would click accept, and then you can go look at your day. There it is. That's how the My Disney Experience app works once you have everything taken care of, once you've been approved. So let's go back a little bit to who does qualify and who does not qualify now. Who qualifies? Again, it comes down to cognitive disability. Cognitive disability, obviously, we talked about it earlier. It is autism, neurodivergent, PTSD. Those are all spectrums. Cognitive disability is a broad range term that covers all of these things. Those are the only people I have heard of who have received and been approved for the new Disability Access Service Pass at Disney World. Who does not qualify? This is very important. People who do, okay, let's go through this. Who does not qualify? Physical disabilities have supposed to not qualify for the past 5 years, but they have kind of let that slide and have let a few in. But physical disabilities or mobility disabilities in any way, shape, or form do not qualify. They do have services in place. All the lines are ADA compliant. Other physical disabilities, including things like IBS or Crohn's disease, diabetes, cancer is not a qualifier. I said that in the original article. That's still exactly what it is. Those do not qualify in any way. Other things to understand out there are who qualifies. We've gone through. It's cognitive disabilities. What happens if you were told no? Again, I said earlier that it's possible that you could get the healthcare professional on and explain it to them. So you must be very thorough in talking about cognitive disability. We have given helpful ideas of making sure that you've written out a list, making sure you say calm, cool, and collected, making sure that you understand how this all works. And that's what I'm trying to do. I may have rambled for a few minutes, but I think you're getting the gist of what I'm trying to say here. If you have anything other than a cognitive disability, Disney has other ways for you to deal with lines, okay? they will say stuff like rider switch, which again, I've said it before, I don't understand how a solo rider is going to do that. Because the next thing they're going to be is, hey, go on a single rider line. There's only 4 single rider lines in all of Walt Disney World, just so everybody's aware of. And I do believe it's one of them is down. Rock and Roller Coaster is one of them. There's one in each park. And one of them doesn't work. So you have 3 single rider lines. And they're going to be like, no, go on the single rider line. You're fine. That's not an option. Okay. And that's one thing you have to be able to do is explain how these other options may not help you in your situation. That's very important to understand. They will do rider switch, which again, we've already talked about. They will talk about attraction queue re-entry. Now, again, they're talking like this is for multiple guests who are traveling together. I haven't seen a solution for a single rider on this one yet. And I will tell you what, I asked about it today and kind of was blown off. I asked how Frozen Ever After dealt with single riders how they had to do attraction queue reentry, and not one cast member was able to explain it at all. So I'm a little concerned about that. I'm hoping that Disney will educate these cast members a little better on what they're offering, but your guess is as good as mine right now on what's going on. Of course, you can then use the Disney Genie service. You can buy Disney Genie Plus. You can buy Lightning Lanes. If you have smaller children, they have strollers with strollers as wheelchair options. Navigating the queue with service animals. There's a whole lot. And then here's my favorite part. I know we're 25 minutes into this. I need to kind of end this video, but now I'm rambling. Here are some of their quote unquote tips to help you manage waiting in queue since you have been denied. Here's what you can do. You can encourage other members of your party to help create a space around you in line to make it more comfortable. You know, because we all go in groups and nobody ever goes solo. In a theme park environment that requires additional walking or standing, bring a mobility device such as a wheelchair, an ECV, a walker, or a seat, or a cane chair. They're allowing cane chairs. You can use those. But you know, we always, here's my favorite. Bring a sensory toy or calming item, such as a stress ball, your favorite device or activity like a tablet, video game, comic book, or other items that may be calming or distracting while waiting in queue. Now, parents of kids who are on the spectrum are going to understand this better than some others, but I'm speaking to the parents of kids on the spectrum. If your kid has a meltdown, and you know what kind of meltdown I am talking about, nothing is going to calm this situation down. You're not going to return to queue. Your day is pretty much over at that point. You need to get that kid out of the park. You need to get them away from whatever's triggering them right now. They need nothing but a quiet, safe space. They need lights low. They need to be playing on their Switch, playing Mario right now, or just kind of, a quiet room won't work all the time. Stim toys don't work all the time. Sometimes maybe a pair of headphones, some Mario, some darkness, and a familiar spot are the only things that are going to work really for that. So yeah, that's what Disney is offering on that. You can also grab a snack or drink to enjoy while waiting in queue. Just be sure to finish it before boarding the attraction. This is what I hate. I hate snark. I hate snark on Disney's website. That makes no sense. Why would you even have that in there? Just make sure you throw it away. You know what? Strike that. Maybe I'll edit. No, I'm not going to edit. Just leave that in. But that's upsetting to me if you can't tell. That makes no sense. Break up your day with other offerings at the resort that don't require waiting in queue. That's most of the day at Disney for most people who are disabled. You spend a lot of time not in line enjoying all the other aspects of what this world is, this amazing parks, this amazing resort. I love walking around and just kind of hanging out in the park and seeing my friends and talking. I barely go on any attractions anymore. Maybe one a day if I'm there. Don't forget other items to keep yourself comfortable. Some items to consider, including a sweater, jacket, or sun protection. They're just trying to cover their butts on every single disability that they can think of randomly. I think it's up to everybody to kind of band together now in this community and come together and say, this is overboard. This is too much. Disney went too far. You are blaming the disabled community for the actions of very few people in this world. You can't hurt everyone for the actions of one person. That makes no sense in this world. That's not the world we live in. And yes, you may be ADA compliant, but there's got to be a way of just being a good human being, just being a good corporation. You know, maybe just going, you know what? People have been through enough. We're just going to let that happen. We're going to be nice, and you need DAS. We will just go back to, I don't know, let's go back to the way Universal does it and have an actual medical doctor decide whether you can get DAS or not. Not some random cast member who's poor and overworked and has to live with 3 other different cast members just to get things by. And they don't really care about DAS at the end of the day. They just want to make their money and go home and say that they work at Disney because they love the mouse, just like we work and love the mouse. Not work at the mouse. I don't work at the mouse. I work here. I'm at my desk right now, just kind of hanging out, recording this. Anyway, I digress. I'm going all over the place. You can kind of hear that I've gone for 30 minutes of rambling now. Now I got to build a video around this. It's going to take me hours. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate you all for listening. I hope you learned something, but there's the most rambling way of describing the Disability Access Service Pass here at Walt Disney World. Soon to be at Disneyland. Once that happens, we'll tackle that at that time. Until then, everybody, thank you so much and enjoy the buffet. Thank you all so much for watching and listening, especially if you made it this far. Congratulations, you made it to the end. Thank you from all of us here at FantasylandNews.com. We appreciate it. You can find us at FantasylandNews.com or TheFanaticsBlog.com for all your latest in Disney Parks news and Walt Disney Company entertainment news. Please like, subscribe, share this out, all the normal things you have to say. And again, go to Fantasyland News on Instagram. Please go to our Facebook page. I know we're old people. Facebook page, hit subscribe. Again, that's Fantasyland News on Facebook and Instagram. And we hope you have a magical day.